5-Minute Mom. So I haven't made one of these in a while, and there's a lot going on right now in the world. Again, this is just, it's crazy. 2020 just gets crazier and crazier. So that's my phone, like digging in the other room. It's set at like a deafeningly loud volume, because when my kids are inside, I can't hear it otherwise. Yes, we're working on inside voices always. So anyway, I just wanted to share that there's a movement. Maybe you've seen it if you're on social media. That is the media blackout this week, like today. I think it starts today, maybe yesterday, the 15th. So yesterday. So I'm a little behind. So anyway, I've decided, hey, why not? I'm going to do this. I am not going to watch anything from the Big Six, which I don't know what you think the Big Six is. To me, it is Fox, CBS, CNN, PBS, NBC, and ABC. So I'm not watching any of their shows. Not just news, any of their programming. It's done, which might seem like a lot, but I'm going to be honest. This is definitely a first world problem. The amount of free time that we have to watch TV or be online is a first world problem. It's not great for us. It's definitely a first world thing. So I sent it to my husband. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. And his response was, you already don't watch a lot of that. Our TV broke like months ago, like 6 months ago, and you haven't replaced it yet. So he's like, so are you going to include YouTube and Twitter? I'm like, dude, I will if you will. So the Perseys are officially not watching television this week, which isn't that big of a deal. And also not getting on YouTube or Twitter for the whole week. So it is going to be a serious detox for us. Serious mental health preventative measures going on right now. So you might say, why do this? Like, why cut all that out? And I will tell you, again, from my perspective and my background in psychology, there are some serious bad things going down with the media these days. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, literal psychological warfare tactics against American people. All American people. They're not like, oh, we're just attacking Republicans, or oh, no, this is like a game that's being played out intentionally. And I'm going to quit playing it for a week and see what happens. So when I say psychological warfare, I will give you one example. There's something in counseling for people who are in abusive relationships, and it's called the drama triangle. And it's a way to understand how manipulation and abuse plays out. So if you think of a triangle, I should have drawn it out on a piece of paper, but you could draw it out while I'm talking about it if you want. If you think of a triangle, you have the three points. Now I'm like Illuminati signs. You guys, I hope you're laughing with me. Anyway, you have the three corners of the triangle, or vertices of the triangle, and each one would represent a role. So in one point of the triangle, you have the persecutor. In another point of the triangle, you have the victim. In another point of the triangle, you have the rescuer. So for someone who's in an unhealthy relationship where you're manipulated, you're always going to be in one of those spots. Okay? So what the media has done, and this is only one example, what the media has done with President Trump is they've gotten sound bites and clips and all of these things together, and they've created a raving lunatic monster. So the mainstream media has repeatedly abused the left with this fictionalized persona of Trump. Now, do they feel like they have PTSD after the last 4 years? Yes, they do. Do some of them possibly really have PTSD? Yes, because the media is actually using those clips and sound bites taken out of context most of the time to abuse, to psychologically and emotionally abuse people. So that's what's happening. The media is in the role with this personification, this fictionalized character. They're in the role of persecutor. Now, people don't see the media as persecutor. They're just reporting the news, right? Okay. So they've put a certain group of people in the role as victim. They're being hurt. They're being, talked down to. Side note, kind of what the media did in part, certain elements of it, with the Obama era or reign as well, because I felt like he was talking down to me. I felt like I was like the naughty child, And a lot of times I'd go back and watch things in context, but to be honest, I just didn't like him as a president, so I didn't bother, which is what people do now, President Trump. So this is what the media does. And I'm over 5 minutes. My kids are going to want lunch. But yeah, that's just an example. So here's the other thing with the drama triangle. So you've got the persecutor, you've got the victim. In an abusive relationship, the abuser will switch easily between the roles, right? So whoever they're manipulating is always wrong. So you've got the media that is using Trump to persecute. Well, then they have Biden come in, and he's very, giving his acceptance speech, and he's very warm, and he's saying a lot of nice words without much meaning, like unity, peace. It's all going to be okay. I'm very calming right now. So they've switched from persecutor to now rescuer, right? But then they're going to go back and be like, oh, COVID lockdowns, persecutor, and they're going to use whatever fictionalized event or character they can to increase panic and fear and basically emotionally manipulate and abuse people. Again, psychological warfare tactics should not be being used against American people. This is criminal. So, and if you think that you know what's going on and you're aware of it and you're immune to this type of psychological warfare, God bless your heart. I am telling you, people with backgrounds in this stuff, smarter than me, are still affected by this all the time. Really, the insight of knowing that you're, to a certain degree, going to be affected by manipulated media and then presenting what they want, knowing that it's happening is the best cure for it, and turning it off, knowing that it's happening is a start. Turning it off and walking away is the best cure. So until this mess is cleaned up, I will not watch the Big Six, and I'm doing my best. I did watch a Sidney Powell clip that was from Fox News. I should have went to find it somewhere else, but I didn't. But I am trying not to give them any likes, any views, anything. I want their ratings to tank, because until criminal action is, until they're held accountable for that, I want to be part of the solution of holding them accountable. So that's what I'm doing. And as far as like Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, I don't know. I'm never on Instagram, so I don't really know. But Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, they also are obviously being unbelievably biased and censoring. And, I'll link it. I'll find it. But maybe I won't. There's a YouTube clip that goes through how the algorithms and the AI systems work. And there's also a Netflix documentary about this called The Social Dilemma that has like 20 minutes of major propaganda plopped right in the middle, but you'll recognize it. And other than that, like blatant propaganda, the rest of it's pretty enlightening. So we are being manipulated. And that's how it is. We're being manipulated. And to me, it looks like the end goal is to divide and anger and get Americans in a rage against each other, which is not what we need right now. We don't need to be in a rage against each other. We need to be able to accurately identify who the enemy is right now, because someone is trying to tear us apart and burn us to the ground as a nation. And it's not everyone who voted for Biden. Your family members who voted for Biden or your family members who voted for Trump are not your enemy. And you'll realize that when you take a step back, turn it all off, and say, okay, they're feeling the same way I'm feeling. They're feeling scared and abused and fearful for the future. They're being told the same lies about us that we're being told about them, no matter who us and them is. It's like the mommy wars, but on a national scale now, with like marches and baseball bats and skateboards and looting and rioting and, yeah. So firsthand stories are great if you know people that live in the cities and you want to call. Just start calling and texting people or read a book this week. Pray. Please pray. So I gotta go. I hear my kids yelling, and it's because they're hungry, so I need to get them in for lunch. Anyway, so it's like 11-minute mom today. God bless you. Good measure, packed down and overflowing. We are all in this together. Please pray with me for the outcome of the election. Please pray with me for peace in our nation, and that God can really bring to light what's happening, and it can be handled appropriately, swiftly, with justice, and that we can remember to have a lot of grace with our friends and our family, and extend mercy and extend healing. And that's it. God bless you. Have a good week.